Alrighty, so we have a great fight here. It's Ľudovít Klein versus Michael Trizano. Alright, so Michael Trizano, he's got a 4-inch height advantage, although Ludo does have a 1-inch reach advantage. Michael Trizano hasn't fought in 2 years. I think his last fight was against Grant Dawson. And yeah, he hasn't fought in a while. So, tough fight to come back on. And we'll break down the striking of these two. Ludo, he's got a Muay Thai foundation. He opens up in southpaw. Really looks to use that head kick, that body kick. Probably a lot of his offense does come from the left-hand side. And he's always trying to get a good angle on his left-hand side offense. So the left high kick or the straight left. He's also got a nice stiff jab. Trizano also has a nice jab as well. More snap to his jab. More of a snapping jab, likes to flick it out quite a bit more than Ludo. He has a nice inside leg kick against southpaws, and he has a nice pull too as well. But yeah, as he does that, he can lean back to avoid strikes when he looks for that pull too. And a combination that Ludo does throw is the high kick to the 2 or the 2 to the high kick. So if he's going to be leaning back to avoid the high kick or the 2, he might catch the high kick or the 2 on the comeback when Ludo throws that combination. But yeah, big story in this one is that it is southpaw versus orthodox, and Ludo is a southpaw, Trizano orthodox, so the body kick and the teep to the body are open for Ľudovít Klein, and you know it's open for Trizano as well. But I think Ludo's kicking game in the open stance, I think, is much better than Trizano's kicking game in the open stance. And also, like, Ludo has that liver shot that's available for him in orthodox versus southpaw, whereas Trizano doesn't really. And yeah, so Ludo, also the high kick is available for him, which is his favourite favourite strike. And he throws that high kick in any range, pretty much. He will even throw it at short range, even in the pocket, pretty much. And that kind of catches opponents unaware, because generally you're not throwing too many high kicks in the pocket. But he will mix it up, and he hides the high kick when he is throwing it in the pocket. He doesn't just enter the pocket and throw it naked. He'll hide it with like a straight right and then, or a jab or a right hook, and then he'll go for the high kick there. And what worries me about Trizano is that he keeps that rear hand low, and that's going to be the hand that he's going to want to get up to his face to defend that high kick. And yeah, he does hold that hand really low. Ludo does the same thing. He leans back with his chin in the air, which, you know, can get him caught if opponents extend their combinations, or, you know, get him on the back foot, get him near the fence. But also Trizano, a few things that he does that I'm not super high on is that his head will just constantly be on center line, doesn't move it very much. Also, his hands low the majority of the time. So yeah. Alright, so how these guys win fights. So for Trizano, he's got pretty good anti-grappling, decent takedown defense, good get-ups. For Ludo, he has good takedown defense as well, and the accuracy and the timing of his head kick, it can be deadly. And he has very good timing on his head kicks. So someone to watch out for if your name's Mike Trizano. And yeah, so how these guys lose fights. So for Trizano, it's the strike and defense that I covered just before. And for Ludo, it's, you know, I haven't seen too much footage of Ludo off his back, but, you know, when he was on his back in the regional circuit, he didn't look great. Like, he did hit a few reversals eventually, but he seemed to be pretty easily controlled on the mat. And I just need to see a little bit more of his get-up game, because his takedown defense is good. So I think he has good takedown defense. I just think if he does get taken down, I don't want to be betting him and then him just being absolutely useless off his back. So, you know, I bet he's working on it, but I need to see a bit more of his recent get up game and bottom game if he does get taken down. I don't think it's going to be a problem in this one, but yeah, just in the future, I just want to see a bit more of his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu game. Alright, so path to victory for these two. For Trizano, look for the inside low calf kick, get some volume on that. Lead leg outside low calf kick. Ludo pretty heavy on that lead leg. Doesn't check many leg kicks. But yeah, mostly look to be on the front foot, cut the octagon off, pressure him, pump the jab out, 1-2s down the pipe, because he doesn't move his head that much. For Ludo, the 1-2's down the pipe as well, just because he doesn't move his head much either. Keep the jabs out, keep the body kicks, sorry, not the jabs, keep the teeps up, keep the body kicks going. It's going to be open all day. Look to throw the jab just to get him leaning back and then go for the head kick, which was the combination we were talking about earlier. Look to ground Trizano, or, just end a takedown. Maybe if the round's close, look to get him on his back just at the end of the round. Alright, so how I see the fight playing out. So yeah, both these guys are pretty similar in stance and style. Both Muay Thai backgrounds, I believe. Both consider themselves strikers. Both stand really tall. But yeah, I think Trizano is one of the taller fighters that Ludo has ever faced. And Ludo doesn't seem to throw the head kick with as much regularity when versing taller opponents. So in regional fights like the Lima fight, the Mezadov fight, the Lee fight on his regional record, he didn't generally throw the high kick as often as he usually does, as they were tall. And that just seems to be why he wasn't throwing it. Just having a problem with the height, I guess. Because he isn't the tallest guy, Ludo. And the high kick is his moneymaker, but he does have other weapons on the feet. Body kicks and teeps will be open for Ludo. The jab of Trizano in the orthodox stance, which is one of his best weapons, won't be as effective because Ludo can parry it, counter it quite easily, as he's a southpaw. He's got the angle, and he'll probably look to angle off and land a straight left on him. Southpaw vs orthodox, I think, definitely favours Ludo over Trizano, just based on the preferred game plans of the two fighters. Trizano has had some close fights with Grant Dawson and Joe Giannetti on the feet, and I just couldn't imagine that happening with Ľudovít Klein if he was versing those two opponents on the feet. So yeah, I just think it's a really tough matchup for Trizano. I think Ludo gets it done. I think he gets it done pretty easily. Parlay with that with the fact that he's been out for 2 years. Ludo isn't the guy that you want to make your comeback off after a long layoff. I mean, look what happened to Shane Young when he came back. He dusted Shane Young pretty quickly. Like, he doesn't let you settle into the octagon. But yeah. Alright, let's have a look at the betting lines. So the prediction is Ludo. I think he wins, and I think he should win by finish. I think he gets Trizano out of there. I think he TKOs him, or KOs him. And I think he wins a good chunk of the time, probably 70 to 75% of the time. Alright, so the money line, I think it's about correct at the moment. If Ludo were to get to like $1.50 or $1.55, somewhere in that range, then probably I'd look to play him at this price. But, maybe a little bit too high at the moment. I don't mind it as a parlay piece. It's a really good matchup for Ludo. And he's a solid prospect. So yeah, $1.50, $1.50, about minus 185, minus 180. I think that's fine. At this price, parlaying, I don't really mind it because it's such a good matchup for him. I don't really want to bet Trizano because it's such a terrible matchup for him. But yeah, I do have Ludo. I think he wins. I think he should finish him.